Hi, my name is Rihanna, and today I'll be presenting to you my impromptu speech number 3. Why do I enjoy being depressed? This is something I used to wonder all the time. Was it the fear? Was it the lack of energy? Or was it the feeling of being so isolated? I'm sure all of those things played a part, but what it really was me being comfortable in my sadness. This is what I'm going to talk about today in my speech, is how I became comfortable with my depression and how it brought me to a place that I did not want to be. Let me tell you how I came to that conclusion. I grew up with my grandparents. They took me in and tried to salvage what they could of my childhood. There was absolutely nothing they could have done to undo the irreversible effects of the trauma that I had endured at just the age of 4 years old. That had its contribution to the depression that I suffered for most of my life. I remember the first time that I ever truly felt depressed, even though I did not realize it till much later in life. My grandfather passed away when I was just 8 years old, and that was the day that depression took over me. I was so sad, and at that age, I could not even understand why. My moods changed as I became more sensitive and irritable. Slowly, as the years went by, I became a ticking time bomb. And by the age of 12 years old, I was officially diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And then after that, the diagnosing just kept going. They tried to help me with therapy and medication and programs, but nothing seemed to help. By the age of 15 years old, I had already been admitted to every mental hospital, treatment facility, and group home known to the state of California, and it was simply just rejected based off of how I was so emotionally irregular and how I had violent outbursts that I could barely control due to the underlying issues that I had dealt with. I was so hurt and defensive at this point, but I realized one day that none of these programs were helping me. I felt so worthless and helpless. Yet the violent outbursts stopped around the ages of 16, but the feeling of being so worthless and helpless did not go away. So I stopped trying. At the ages of 16 to 18, I became comfortable with my mental issues and my depression. This put me in a place that I did not want to be, an isolated, low motivated, and depressive mess, as I would label it. My comfort, it stopped me from my efforts of trying to get better. I was so used to feeling a certain way, and although I was still dealing with all the side effects and the issues, I just would disregard it and I would just disregard the trauma that I had and really just stop trying and all. Even though I felt comfortable with my depression, I was not truly happy. But now that you know how my comfortabilities put me in a place that I did not want to be, I can tell you the conclusion. In conclusion, I was comfortable with my depression, and it led me down a deep, dark path, put in a place that I did not want to be. But over time, I've learned to heal myself and overcome that person that I once was. It took a while, but what I learned was that even though you may be comfortable, that doesn't mean you should stay in place and become stagnant, especially when it comes to a situation that you put yourself into. Because I believe that when life gets hard, you gotta keep marching on. And even if the finish line is far and you have to push the car, and keep on marching on. This is taken from The Number You Have Dialed Is No Longer in Service, which is a song by Suicide Boys written on August 13th, 2021. And all of this is said because even if you're sad and down and low, you owe it to yourself to keep on fighting because everyone in the world deserves happiness, even you. Thank you.